our little group in the Austrian side divided because everybody had some families or friends, and I went to Vienna, and that was very interesting. There was a very old hotel, completely bombed out, but they had a night porter. So he let me stay in one of the rooms because I had a very high recommendation from some guest who used to stay there year after year after year. And then I got into the thing. Vienna was very tough. They had coupons for food, and very disturbing was that enormous big poster showed a different color and texture of meat, and human meat was also shown there, how it looks, the color, and on and on. What happened was there were gangs who picked up big fat girls for dinner and then killed them and made sausage of it. And they went on quite a while. So I had no coupons because I didn't belong to anybody. And somebody gave me that in the principal Stephanskirche, the beautiful old Gothic church. There's a man who sells sausages, but of course I didn't know anything about this thing. So I bought him a dozen, and I had dollars in a black market, an English pound. Now, after 3 days, I ate up all that, and I went back again, and I couldn't find this old man. Finally, a woman who was selling flowers, I said, "Have you seen a man so-and-so?" She said, "Oh, my son," he said, "the police was here because he was selling human meat sausages." Now I go home, I had one sausage left, and I didn't know my stomach or what. I said, "Well, I ate 11 already, what's the difference?" I lit a candle, and I ate the sausage. So then I went in trains and hitchhiking to the American border with England. Vienna was divided four sections: French and Russian and American. So anyway, we got there to the border, and then the Americans got hold of us. So they put me in, it was a camp, it was not a prison or anything, but they had to do something to be punished to illegal entry, so we got 30 days in that camp. And then we were free. Now, but to go to the next place was the English control. That was easy to go where whoever came from American section, it was not so heavy. And then we find out that coming a train loaded more than 2,000 people, German descent, who lived in Hungary, Romania, and all that. They were taking them back to Germany. So we know about the train. When the train stopped, we get in mixed with those other people. And they all had papers. Somewhere middle of the night, the train stopped, and the soldiers surrounded the train. Everybody had to line up with his luggage, and they one by one, soldiers checked your papers, and finally they came to me. I had nothing. And at that moment, this young soldier started to talk to me. One of his friends said something. They started to talk, so I simply just stepped over a yard to the people who were checked out. So the guy didn't see it, so he started with the rest of it. Anyway, I walked and walked and walked. I walked all the way to Denmark. The French tried to shoot me down in around Garmisch-Partenkirchen. because I went through the mountain. I used to ski there. I knew the mountains, how they were working. So I went over to the other side, and that was a little bit easier because that was all checked out. What they did look for actually was war criminals. We were too young to be war criminals, so it was no problem. They looked certain types. And finally I get in to the border with Denmark. And it was very extremely interesting. They had wires all around, electric wires. And so one night, full moon, I crossed over to Denmark, and I had a friend who was Sven Krag Jacobsen. He was a most, I would say, knowledgeable about ballet, and he was for this newspaper, the ballet section, and she was an expert all over Europe about classic ballet, so I stayed on his house. I was there a month, and I had to go into Sweden, and I had to go illegally in, and then go to the police that you hear illegally, give yourself up. Well, I went to Hornbeck, which is a little fishing village, and I stole a little boat, and I started to row over because you could see it, the thing, but I didn't know about the current. It was tremendous current. I almost landed in England. But anyway, I lost my skin on my hand, and I was rowing and rowing. Finally, I reached a beach, and I fainted. It was dark, so I woke up. It was dark again. What happened was I slept 24 hours. I was so exhausted. Then I took out the card, Baron Dobronyi from Budapest, printed my name card, business card, or whatever you call it. And then I said, I stole this boat so and so and so, which saved me from all troubles, because the law there is to save a life, you can steal any vehicle in the street. If it's an accident, they didn't wait for the ambulance, just picked the guy up and took it to the next hospital. So it was like saving my life, plus I told them where it was. I had to walk to a bigger town where they had police and, well, a normal town, peace, no war, nothing ever happened there. You know, had all windows that we admired, and had bananas in the shop. So anyway, I went in, I hid from the ticket counter and went into the town called Halmstad. And it was very early, like 7, 8. And I walked in the city. There's a big square there. And I knew I had to go to the police because we had a lawyer friend in Stockholm. So I see this man in uniform go into a very official looking brick house, big house. So I followed him, you know, policeman. I get in. I was really exhausted. That was supposed to be the end of the trip. So I said, anybody speaks German? Because I didn't speak English yet. So some words. And then one guy said, yes, I speak German. So I sit down. They gave me coffee and cakes. And I tell them little by little the whole trip, how I get from Hungary and on, a whole hour. And I had like 20 policemen around me, all because one was translating to Swedish.